we do have these infrastructure bills, lots of money in it. I mean, I've been under bridges. They're horrible to look at. You look and you see rust. If you drive over bridges, you see things you are like, am I going to make it over this? The bridges are definitely old. The roads are old. But why, after all these bills, after all the money, do we still have really old bridges and really old roads?
Because we're not spending it on roads and bridges.
Right.
Look at the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that was done a couple of years ago that the left hails as this massive success, but it was mostly Green New Deal. Actually, in that bill, 110 billion went to surface transportation, which is roads and bridges, and of that 110 billion, 70 billion went to public transportation, leaving only 40 billion for traditional roads and bridges, what you and I think about. And if you live along the coast or you live near water, you know that our bridges are rusting out. You know that we have many, many bridges that have to be replaced and upgraded. And you know it's probably about $1 billion a bridge every time. And so I look at South Carolina when the infrastructure bill came through, we really only got $1 billion more than we otherwise would have over a 5-year period. I can barely build a bridge in my district for $1 billion. That's just one district. So we have to be smarter. You look at the spending bill we did on Friday, all the waste that's in there, things that the government should not be paying for when it could be going to things that are the government's purpose, just like this.
You know, there's a lot of questions this morning. You see the video. We obviously want to know how this happened, why this happened. What questions do you have, and what questions should we be answering first after this tragedy?
Well, obviously, number one, we want to make sure that the governor of Maryland, that they've got everything that they need resource-wise to meet the community's needs for the losses that they have and figuring out a plan to rebuild, reconnect the bridge in Baltimore, number one. Number two, we have to look at, our resources and making sure that, infrastructure is spent more wisely. But third, also, when I watched the video and I saw the power outage, it was very quick. And, why did that happen? That'll be the first question I think that investigators will need to ask is why did the power outage happen? It looked like the container ship was going pretty fast. I don't know what the speed was, but I would want to look at how fast the ship was going and why the power outage happened. And you could see the ship try to make a turn at the last minute and miss the turn and then hit the bridge. And so from that perspective, those would be my questions.
Tell me a little bit, you mentioned it before about these bills junked up, and they are, there's no question about it. And then they have all these very pro-union rules which drive up the costs. What would you strip out of a lot of these, and how do you get it to be a clean bill? This goes directly towards building X, Y, and Z, as opposed to this goes to this green organization, this goes to your favorite. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, it's you have to have both parties have to be held accountable because our spending problems, the inflation problem that our nation has, isn't caused by Democrats alone. Republicans are equally responsible for the massive spending. Look what Kevin McCarthy did with the debt ceiling bill last year. All of this, the bad spending bill we just voted on Friday, all of this stems from all the bad deals that the disgraced former speaker started. But this has been a problem for Republicans for decades. The last time we ever balanced the budget was in 1998 when Bill Clinton was president. That was the last time that ever happened. And so since that time, Republicans and Democrats alike have been spending out of control, neither side holding the other side accountable. And I look at, we were paying for gay nursing homes in the bill last Friday. We're paying for trans kid clothing without parents getting their knowledge or giving their consent. I mean, this is not the government's job, whether you're pro-gay marriage or pro-not. I mean, funding nursing homes isn't the role of the government per se, and we shouldn't be funding things for kids that parents don't have any knowledge or permission of. And so I look at all the waste, but this was just done by Republicans and Democrats together. Like, this is a two-party problem, and until voters wake up and say no more, this is just going to continue. And the debt ceiling bill, we are already, it's 50 trillion over 10 years. I think it's going to be much faster than that because every 100 days right now, we are adding another $1 trillion to the debt. I blame both parties, and I'm pretty angry about it.